retired nurse, so yeah, I'm like sort of in the biz too.
Do you know any?
Well, I know the back. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you talking to somebody once. Did you anybody?
Yeah, he came by and
Oh, that's
was talking about the church, and I've been in a long time. I said, were you here 53 years ago when I got married? And he said, well, I was a young guy then.
So were you?
Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Providence, where we love beyond belief. My name is Jane Knight. I'm your worship associate for today. Whoever you are, wherever you are in life's journey, you are welcome here. It is good to be together. Our theme for summer worship this year is the North Star. The North Star guides us through darkness and helps us find our way. It gives us directions when we are lost. Your North Star may shine within you, an inner place that you can turn to in times of trouble, confusion, or chaos. We all need a North Star, perhaps now more than ever. During the summer, when our minister's away, the worship committee hosts a series of services that are led by church members and friends, with the music also provided by church members and friends. This morning, we extend our thanks to our musicians, Janice Akunian and Claire Rosenbaum. This morning, we are honored to have Dr. Linda Coffin with us. Dr. Coffin worked as an internist in university settings and at a local HMO for 19 years before joining Hope Hospice in 2000. She is a member of the Rehoboth Congregational Church. Now let us center our hearts and minds as we begin our service together. Now is our time for greeting. Please, let's wave to the folks online, both near and far. Please stand up, leave your pew if you'd like, but make sure everyone is greeted.
You're right. Do you have more words before we do this? No.
No,
This is ready
I
for me.
will use the little gong to stop everybody and
Okay.
tell everybody to get back in their seats. And then we'll light.
And the hymnal, is it this one that's being used?
Yeah, there's also one. Yeah, there's also extras.
Okay.
Tia hymnals.
This is interesting because the same thing happens. And it's like people have never seen these people before. They have to say out. It takes more and more and more time.
Yeah, it's always extended, and Stephen and I are always kind of like going, okay, I'm done. Like, but there's people who have really long conversations. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
So are you lighting out 2 times?
Yes, or 2 candles. Got somebody left, so we have a big candle back there that will light always inspires candles. Somebody must have left it on last week.
Oh, no? Everyone.
And it's charred. I'm not sure who's responsible. Somebody's going down. It won't be me.
Very effective. Please join me in the words of our chalice lighting as printed in your order of service. This light burns also in our hearts, and it lights our path towards harmony and justice for all. We also light a chalice for Reverend Roger, who is on sabbatical. We light this flame to send and receive blessings, warmth, and light to Reverend Roger until his safe return in the fall.
All are welcome, but none are obligated to join me in the words for our covenant printed in the order of service. We, the members of the First Unitarian Church of Providence, with respect for the worth and dignity of each person, with wonder at the light we know by many names, and with gratitude for our deep connection to each other and to the larger web of existence, covenant to walk together in our search for truth, seeking the paths of wisdom, compassion, and justice. Please rise in body or spirit for hymn number 128 in the gray hymnal, For All That Is Our Life.
To Be of Use by Marge Piercy. The people I love best jump into work head first and swim off with shore strokes almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black, sleek heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the muck and the mud to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn put into museums. But you know that they held corn. They were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real.
I will now read the joys and sorrows of the congregation, both written in the book at the back of the meeting house and also submitted digitally. We recognize these joys and sorrows with candles lit from the flame atop the beautiful pedestal from our partner church in Transylvania. First, mine is a candle of joy for the opportunity to be here with you all. We have a lighting of candle for continued recovery for my husband, who has had a total knee replacement 2 weeks ago, and that's from Claire Rosenbaum. And then a candle of excitement for our first U kids heading back to school this week, and an even brighter candle of joy for all the parents. Yes. I remember those days. Friends, let us rest in gladness that we have each other to share in our joys and our sorrows. It makes all the difference. Now is our time for meditation. I invite you to inhale and exhale slowly. Today's meditation is inspired by the words of the Prophet Muhammad. O beloved one, for whom the future is always now, I am busy making plans for my tomorrows. What shall I do and where shall I go? Am I not the captain of my ship, competent to chart its course through calm or stormy seas? Teach me the foolishness of such thoughts and place upon my lips the Arabic word, inshallah, God willing. May it remind me constantly that I cannot control today, let alone tomorrow. God willing, I will be alive tomorrow. If God wills it, I shall be able to make my commitments, arrive safely at my destination, complete the work I have promised. Inshallah, wondrous word, which reveals to me that I must live day by day, always dependent upon God's providence. May every plan and dream I propose be sealed with what God may dispose, and bear the mystic's motto, God willing, inshallah. During this time of silent meditation, if you have lost someone close to you in the last year, we invite you to stand up or raise your hand as a way to honor them in silent witness.
Good morning, church. Thank you for having me. I'm Linda Coffin, and I'm a retired internist and hospice doctor. I was asked by Jane earlier this summer to address the topic of finding one's North Star. I've had the privilege of attending and or listening to your summer services with stories about love, Dante's travel through purgatory, of homelessness, of homegoing, and of finding home in outer space. I am awed by the voices, talent, and poetry that I have heard. For me, the North Star is a fixed place in the sky pointing to true north. I immediately went to the library and took out a book by Martha Beck entitled Finding Your Own North Star. I needed a little help with this. I've never thought of my life with its ups and downs, losses and loves, successes and failures, as a pursuit of my North Star. Beck maintains that following one's North Star allows a person to claim the life that one is meant to live. This requires an historical progression with positive and negative events in one's life in order to define the right path leading to becoming the person you are intended to be. With that in mind, my process of becoming starts with humble beginnings as the daughter of a lobster fisherman in Maine and his 17-year-old bride from New York City. Despite relative poverty, my brothers and I were well housed, truly loved, encouraged to excel, and were always aware that hard work was essential to success in life. Living on the ocean, fishing with my brothers and father, doing home gardening, going to swimming lessons, watching our mothers pick crab meat to make pin money defined our early life. As a child, I attended the First Parish Congregational Church in Brunswick, Maine. This is where Harriet Beecher Stowe was said to have gotten her inspiration for Uncle Tom's Cabin. This church was foundational for me on my way to becoming. I recall sitting in our family pew with my mother. I was 10 or 12. The church is a great, dark, Gothic structure with flying buttresses and towering stained glass windows. At certain times of the year, sunlight would stream in through the window and land directly on my head and face. Feeling this warmth and lacking some humility, it convinced me that I was a child of God and destined for great things. I was fascinated by all things science, the human body, marine life, Krakatoa, and also by a life serving others embodied by my mother. No Barbies for me. I wanted the visible man and the visible head, and my parents made sure I got them. In fact, the man and the head reside in my library. Both of my parents supported my dream of becoming a doctor, despite neither of them attending college. The next step pointing north was a job as a live-in babysitter to 4 children of a local prominent family. The mother of this crew became a mentor to me and encouraged the potential that she saw in me. She literally dragged my mother and me to interviews at the 7 sister colleges, including her alma mater, Radcliffe. There, my interviewer, Deke Smith, advanced my application. I was awarded a Procter & Gamble scholarship, despite being allergic to Ivory soap. I was an art history major doing pre-med requirements on the side, which doesn't happen so much nowadays. And why not? With a father who was a skilled painter, woodcarver, and printmaker, and with proximity to great museums in Boston and New York. It was a dream come true to combine science and humanities. Needless to say, the Vietnam War overshadowed everything. It required becoming active in politics, somewhat like today. I completed my pre-med requirements adequately and graduated from Dartmouth Medical School in a 3-year program. I loved delivering babies. I wanted to deliver babies. But the surgical aspects of OB/GYN were not in my wheelhouse. I trained in internal medicine at Albany Medical Center and moved to Cincinnati to be with my surgeon husband. I had a private practice and also worked running the clinics at the University of Cincinnati. Upon the birth of our son, we moved to Massachusetts, where we both worked at Rhode Island Group Health Association, RIGA. Many of you may know that name, but most young doctors in this town don't know the name. It was the first HMO in the nation set up by the unions and provided multi-specialty health care under one roof, from birth to grave. Fast forward 15 years, when through no fault of my own, I lost my job at what became Harvard Community Health Plan. I, along with hundreds of doctors, nurses, medical providers, dentists, lost their jobs. And many thousand Massachusetts and Rhode Island residents lost their access to doctors and medical care. This was a low point on the path to my North Star journey, but perhaps it was the jolt I needed. I took off time for the first time in my adult life. I spent quality time with our college-bound son, and I became a better marriage partner. Heck, I even cooked dinner. However, I had to assess my life's trajectory and find my raison d'etre. I recalled that the most profound and life-impacting experiences of my 34-year medical career were accompanying my patients and their families through their terminal illnesses, visiting them in their homes, working with hospice professionals to help patients achieve comfortable deaths, and attending their wakes and funerals. I remember going to one funeral, and the family was gathered, and as I walked by, I heard them say, "Look how important Mom was. Her doctor came." I volunteered in a medical role at Home and Hospice Care of Rhode Island, now Hope Health, for a year, and I was offered a part-time position as a team doctor. I visited patients in their homes and in the inpatient center, where we had 24 beds at that time. We now have 30 beds. This was my North Star, calling me to use my education, my experiences, my empathy, and a desire to better acquaint myself with the eventuality of the death of my loved ones and ultimately my own death. On the front of your program, there's a Renaissance painting which includes a skull with deep orbits. And the Latin phrase for this is memento mori, think on death. It is a reminder to the viewer to contemplate death, but also the ephemeral nature of life itself. So a little bit about hospice from a physician named Dr. Coffin. Americans in general prefer not to speak of death. Many of us don't witness deaths, like decades ago when Grandma was in the front parlor and was surrounded by children and family. At my church, the prayers of the people go something like this: prayers for Joe, he's now on hospice, gasp. And my answer is, God, I am thankful that hospice services exist for Joe and his family. It is said that death in Canada is inevitable. Death in the UK is imminent, but death in California is optional. Let's explore the hospice kind of death. Hospice comes from the word hospes, which means guest, host, and visitor, all of them, and from which comes words like hospitality and hospital. Hospice had its earliest origin in the Middle Ages, when those returning from the Crusades were ministered to by religious orders. The modern hospice movement was founded by Dame Cicely Saunders. She was a social worker, and then she advanced to a nurse, and then she decided she would become a doctor because she would have more power in helping the patients. She created St. Christopher's Hospice in London in 1967. She was the first to study the use of morphine to alleviate pain associated with dying. Her philosophy was as follows: you matter because you are you. You matter to the last moment of your life, and we will do all that we can to help you die peacefully, but also to live until you die. Rhode Island's hospice is the third oldest in the country and is celebrating its 50th year. It was originally set up by Dr. Stan Aronson, who was a neuropathologist and founding dean of Brown Medical School, along with Charles Baldwin, who was the chaplain at Brown. They felt that end-of-life care must be about the holistic care of the patient and the family. Hope Hospice serves 15,000 patients and their families in a nonprofit way, has training programs and fellowships for Brown, has a freestanding inpatient center called Hulitar, and has a pediatric hospice program. The hospice philosophy is to seek a good death. This means to most of us that we die in a place that is comfortable, our home, as opposed to the hospital. That our pain and symptoms are controlled, that our loved ones can be present, that we do not burden our loved ones unnecessarily, that our affairs are in order. And as Ira Byock, a hospice expert, says, to give patients time to say the following words: I forgive you. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. And I always add, goodbye. Hospice services are available through Medicare, Medicaid, private insurance, and free care. It is offered to individuals with a terminal illness and a likelihood of death within 6 months if the disease follows its usual trajectory. There is a recertification process that allows continued hospice services beyond 6 months if criteria are met. Some of my patients lived on hospice for years. Doctors in the community can refer patients after discussion of goals of care. Do you want further chemotherapy, even though it's not working and making you quite ill? Do you want CPR? Do you want to continue to go back and forth to hospital? Patients can also self-refer. Timely referral to hospice services is critical. Waiting until a person is on death's door or suffering terribly the side effects of treatments that are futile and not working is why hospice stays are so short. Several years ago, the average hospice stay in our hospice was in terms of 2 to 3 weeks. To enroll in a hospice means that you can gain all the services provided by hospice, increase symptom management, increase patient and family satisfaction, increase lifespan in certain diseases, and provision of better quality of life. It also means that less people die in the ICU. Patients may receive hospice care at home or in a nursing home, in prisons, group homes, while transitioning in the hospital, wherever a person considers their home to be. Early in hospice history, most patients had cancer. Now, with the aging population, 1 out of 5 have some other diagnosis, including dementia, cardiac disease, heart failure, lung disease, COPD, renal failure, liver failure, neurologic diseases like stroke, coma, and ALS, terminally ill babies with genetic abnormalities, and HIV/AIDS. Back in the 80s, we were convinced we were going to have an influx of patients with AIDS to our hospice services. In reality, with the scientific advancement and medications to treat this disease, it has become a chronic disease. And the only patients that I've seen on hospice with AIDS are those that cannot or will not take their medicines. Hospice services are delivered by an interdisciplinary team, including nurses who admit, visit, communicate with the patient's PCP, who remains involved, and also answers the phone 24 hours a day. Certified nursing assistants who deliver bathing, personal care, social workers who do financial counseling, obviously the doctor and pharmacist, volunteers, pastoral services. Bereavement is offered for a year after the death of the patient. We have 2 summer camps for bereaved children, one in Mass and one in Rhode Island. Alternative therapy, such as pet therapy, Reiki, massage, and music and art therapy are offered. A patient and a family may revoke hospice services if they improve, stabilize, or if a new treatment comes along, or they go to the hospital, or they just change their mind. Life is precious, and we recognize that each person has the right to choose the manner of their death. There's another service called palliative care, which is the total and active care of patients with serious or life-limiting illnesses not responsive to curative treatment. The goals are to alleviate suffering, provide emotional and spiritual support to the patient and family, to coordinate care and have ongoing addressing of goals of care with open communication. Palliative care should be considered at the time of diagnosis of any serious non-curable disease and is provided alongside active treatments such as chemotherapy, surgery, experimental meds. Many of these patients transition to hospice. Many others stabilize. Hospice recognizes that birth and death are on a continuum. One labors to get into this world, and likewise one labors to get out. The act of dying deserves as much love and attention as does the birth of a child. I have accompanied many individuals on their journey toward death. I've witnessed many last breaths. I've received and given hugs, and I've shared prayers if that was their choice. I believe that ministering to, treating, and caring for the dying individual is a profound gift. Being present when there is no curative treatment, holding a hand, crying with the family, is confirmation of a shared humanity, one that provides a lesson that informs our own death journey. I explain to my team that from each death experience, I take a thread or a piece of fabric from which I create a quilt of memory that will embrace and comfort me on my final journey. In the words of Ram Dass, an American spiritualist and guru, we are all just walking each other home. Perhaps that home is at the North Star. Amen.
Please rise in body or spirit as we sing number 311 in the gray hymnal, Let It Be a Dance. We have been warmed by fires we did not build. We have drunk from wells we did not dig. We have gathered in fellowship in this space that is far older than any of us assembled. But it is in this space that we create and recreate anew that which bonds us to one another. We pass our collection baskets to make a community expression of our thanks for many blessings, those witnessed and those yet to come. The morning offering for the work of the congregation will now be generously given and gratefully received.
Tell me, where is the road I can call my own? That I left, that I lost so long ago. All these years I have wandered. Oh, when will I know? There's a way, there's a road that will lead me home. After wind, after rain, when the dark is done, as I wake from a dream in the gold of day, through the air there's a calling from far away. There's a voice I can hear that will lead me home. Rise up, follow me, come away is the call. With love in your heart as the only song, there is no such beauty as where you belong. Rise up, follow me, I will lead you home.
We welcome all to our summer Sunday services, that's a tongue twister, at First U. Just a reminder that everyone is invited to gather in the breezeway back between the buildings for a time of refreshment and fellowship. The next week, our speaker will be Trent Batson. We hope to see you there. Be sure to check the First U Times, which is sent every Friday afternoon, for all the important information you need about upcoming events and news. The First U Times is sent by email to all members, friends, and others who have signed up to receive it. You can access it and sign up through our church website or fill out a guest registry form at the welcome table in the back of the meeting house. If you turn to the back of your program, you'll see today we have, there is Justice League in the Haynes Room at 11 o'clock. And as you probably already noticed, we have our garage sale going on in the other building. So I hope you'll check that out. Please join me in the words of our chalice extinguishing. We carry this flame of peace and love and hope until we meet again.